Hey.
What's going on, lady?
So I have a question for you.
Okay.
I'm 21 years old, and I'm just wondering, why should I invest in real estate?
Why not invest in real estate? You want to get some money? You want to build generational wealth? You want to make sure that you have a tangible asset that you can liquidate if you ever need cash? And not to mention, like, you want to live in your home and own it instead of paying rent.
What is generational wealth?
So, generational wealth is, okay, so I'm 42.
Mm-hmm.
You're 21. Generations is what you're going to have later, children, and your children's children can own the house that you buy now.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll continue to build wealth through real estate. So that's generational wealth.
And how would I do that?
Well, first of all, you got to qualify, right? So you got to make sure you have some money saved. We get you set up with a lender. You go through the process to purchase the home. When I was in my 20s, I bought my first property and I owned it for about 17 years. Okay. The first property I used to buy the next property because I did something called house hacking. Have you heard of that?
I haven't. What
Yeah.
is that?
So house hacking is like where you live in the property, but then you rent out rooms or units of the property. So if you own a 3-flat or 2-flat, and you live in the property, but the tenants pay your rent or your mortgage, right? So they pay rent, which you use to pay your mortgage, and that will subsidize your costs. So house hacking is a way to build wealth through real estate. If you start now and develop that passive income from house hacking, you'll be set. Like when I tell you set. So like, for example, I bought my first property in my 20s, bought the property, lived in it for about 10 years, moved out, moved a tenant in. That property paid for itself plus the mortgage on my next house. The second house, I moved in, rented it out. It was multiple units. The tenants, one floor paid for the mortgage, one floor paid for my utilities. The third floor was a savings, and I lived in my apartment rent-free.
Wow.
Right? And so then over time, I had it for a while. Mm-hmm. So it was now worth more than what I bought. That's called equity, right? The in-between. I use the equity of this house.
Equity.
Yes, so that's the in-between. Equity is the balance of the mortgage versus the worth of the home. So it's like a piggy bank, right? I tapped into that piggy bank to buy the third property. So now the first property is paying for the mortgage of itself, and it's paying the mortgage on the third property. The second property is paying utility bills, and I now have 2 units that is passive income. So just imagine if you had passive income, $1,000 extra every month for 21 years. That's generational wealth.
Wow.
And you don't pay a mortgage on either property because the tenants pay the mortgage. So that's how I house hack, and so that's why I recommend at 21 you get started right away.
That sounds great.
Yes.
I'm ready to close with Tiff.